Following the battles of Saratoga in the month of October 1777, numerous British and Hessian soldiers were caught by the Americans. The British generals on American soil never staged treason trials and dealt with captured American warriors as prisoners of war, regardless of Lord Germain's tough position. The issue was that the Americans had control of tens of countless patriots, and vengeance would have been easy. The British relied greatly on these loyalists in their plan. The British maltreated their prisoners, triggering more deaths amongst American POWs than at the time of battle operations. Both sides released their remaining prisoners at the end of the battle. The loss of a British force at Saratoga triggered the French to formally join the war in the support of Congress, and Benjamin Franklin protected a long-term army alliance in early 1778, making France the first foreign nation to recognize the Declaration, the Treaties of Amity and Commerce, and the Treaty of Alliance were signed on February 6, 1778, by the U.S. and France, while British MPs who had had compassion with colonist issues now turned against the Americans for allying with Britain's challenger and adversary. William Pitt spoke up in Parliament, motivating Britain to make peace in America and join with America against France. In the years 1779 and 1780, the Spanish and Dutch joined with the French as allies, leaving the British to wage an international war without significant allies and needing them to break through a joint Atlantic blockade. The British started to see the American struggle for independence as just one front in a larger dispute, and they chose to eliminate soldiers from America so as to strengthen British areas in the Caribbean, which were threatened by Spanish or French invasion. Sir Henry Clinton, the British leader, departed Philadelphia and went back to New York City. In the action of Monmouth Courthouse, the last significant fight combated in the North, General Washington obstructed him. The British pulled away to New York City after an undetermined engagement. As the focus of effort turned to the smaller Southern theater, the Northern War ended up being a stalemate. In America, the British technique now fixated a project in the Southern states. With fewer routine forces at their disposal, British leaders considered the Southern method as a more believable method, believing the South to be greatly patriot, with a huge population of current immigrants and a considerable number of slaves who might be inspired to leave their masters and join the British. They took control of the Georgia shoreline after capturing Savannah in late December 1778. They installed a new invasion in the year 1780 and captured Charleston also. After a definitive triumph in the Battle of Camden, noble forces rapidly took control of the majority of Georgia and South Carolina. The British built a network of fortifications inland in the hopes of rallying the Loyalists around the flag. Having said that, there were inadequate patriots, and the British were forced to fight their way north into North Carolina and Virginia with a terribly diminished army. Much of the area they had already dominated was swallowed up in a disorderly guerrilla war, combated mostly between gangs of patriots and American militia, which erased lots of the gains won by the British. Cornwallis's British army marched to Yorktown, Virginia, where they wanted to be saved by a British fleet. Although the Navy came, it was joined by a larger French fleet. The Battle of the Chesapeake was won by the French, and the British Navy went back to New York for support, trapping Cornwallis. Under siege by the joined French and Continental armies led by Washington, the British surrendered their second attacking army of the war in the month of October 1781.